Supporting our youth today helps provide future leaders in our communities and in Rotary. So that's my interest in the youth programs. You're going to hear from each of our youth and vocational service programs shortly. But before that, I wanted to give you a brief overview of the programs. We have 3 types of exchange programs. With the Rotary Youth Exchange, there's both a long-term exchange and a short-term exchange, as well as the New Generations Service Exchange. We have 6 short-term programs that last between 4 and 6 days. These include RILA, Ripen, RAYAC, 2 adventure programs, and the Seeds Connection program. Apologize for the abbreviations. I'm sure you'll hear more about the full names when the program chairs do their presentations. Part of the reason for this session, or the timing of this session, is that the registration for the short-term programs is going to open later this month. So I'm going to moderate this session, and I've asked each program chair to present for no more than 5 minutes. We'll try and keep it on track so that we can get out of here by 8 o'clock. Our first presenter was going to be Anna Marie from the Youth Exchange Program, and I didn't see her arrive.
I just arrived. You timed it.
Oh, look at that. Perfectly. Are you okay to go first?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I will advance to your slide here. And the floor is yours.
Perfect. So I think many of you are probably somewhat aware of Rotary Youth Exchange. It is, well, it's divided into 2. There's a short-term exchange and there's a long-term exchange. And the long-term exchange is the one that I would say District 5360 has been involved in for the longest amount of time. And this is the where we do a district-to-district exchange with students that are who are between 15 and a half and 17 and a half. And they're out of the country for between 10 and 11 months. And they're going on what we would like to consider a more of a cultural exchange. We don't bill it or demonstrate it as a school exchange. They do go to school. School is a large component of it and the reason why we can get the visas. But it is really about learning a new language, living and immersing yourself in a new culture, living with families, usually 3 to 4, well, actually, I should say somewhere between 2 and 4 families throughout the year, with the aim that the family is about teaching you how to live with something that's a little different than the way maybe you grew up. Maybe you'll live with someone who's older. Maybe you'll live with a single parent family. Maybe you'll live with a single person, a grandparent age couple. But just about learning to adapt and insert yourself in different situations and push your comfort zone. We like to say that Rotary Youth Exchange is building peace one student at a time. So teaching tolerance, teaching resiliency, and teaching, I guess, how to open your mind and become an ambassador. Generally speaking, the process starts right about now. We're in the midst of finalizing applications and selecting students for the next year going out. So going out in the summer of 2025, coming back in 2026. It is a 3-year commitment for the student. They have a year of training and understanding and getting to better know A, Rotary, and B, what the program is about. The year out on exchange, and then their year returned. How are they, getting used to being back in the country and that sort of stuff, and how can they apply themselves further. Um, and then the second program is our short-term program, which is more of a family to family exchange where the student fills out a very short form about themselves, but we match a student to a student and a family to a family in the country that they'd like to go to. It usually lasts between a month to 6 weeks, with 2 to 3 weeks in one country and then 2 to 3 weeks in the other. And really, the involvement of Rotary in that is guiding it, but also just validating and vetting the host family or the parents, so that they're properly vetted and it's a comfortable exchange for the parent, for both families involved. There's level of comfort provided. We do give them a little bit of training on exchange and what Rotary is, but it's not nearly as in depth as the 12-month program. And in some cases, the short term builds into the long term. They go on a short term exchange and get comfortable with the idea of living somewhere else and want to explore further and look at long term. The short term exchange is a little bit more flexible in age. It's 15 to 18, I think maybe 19. So those that have maybe aged out of the long-term youth exchange program could explore the short term. Do we have another page, Brian? I just want to make sure that I'm speaking to everything, or
That's
do we
all
just
that
have the
I
one
had.
page? Awesome. That's all good. So all that to say, if you're interested, please reach out. I'm the chair of the committee. I've taken over from Linda Morris this summer. We will have, I believe, 7 or 8 out on exchange in the coming year. We currently have 11 on exchange, with 10 who came in and are being hosted by the district. Any
Awesome.
questions?
Yeah, any questions for Anne-Marie? Hearing none, I will move on to our next presenter, I believe is going to be Manvi, who is the co-chair of the New Generations Service Exchange. Is it you, Manvi?
Yep, that'll be me, Brian. Thanks so much.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the introduction. My name is Manvi, and I am co-chairing the New Generation Service Exchange program in our district. And before I get started, just because I have everyone's camera here, I wanted to get a quick show of hands who on call is familiar with or has heard of the NGSC program in our district before. Awesome. That's a lot more hands than I thought would go up, and it's also really nice to see some NGSC champions in the crowd. But for those who are unfamiliar, you can kind of think of the NGSC program as the Big Brother program to the Rotary Youth Exchange. It's a short-term customizable exchange program for young adults to build their vocational skills and participate in service in a country of their choosing. So what that means is that every unique NGSC program is designed around 3 different pillars, which includes vocation, service, and cultural immersion. For the vocational piece, our participants usually spend their time shadowing, volunteering, or assisting in a workplace that's related to their career of interest. So, for example, someone that's interested in pursuing a medical degree could be placed in a hospital to connect with doctors or witness surgical procedures. The service piece is really where Rotary comes into play, because all of the participants are connected with local Rotary clubs and they get invited to Rotary service projects and events that are taking place during the duration of their exchange. And the participants also get a really unique take on cultural immersion, because for the duration of their exchange, they're usually accommodated by multiple Rotarian host families, which all really go out of their way to make them feel welcome and help them tour around nearby attractions in our district. Can you advance to the next slide, please, Brian?
Yep.
Thank you. So, what this means as an applicant is that the requirements of this program are very adaptable and they're always tailored to each applicant specifically. So, unlike many of the other programs that we're going to discuss today, the NGSC is catered towards young adults aged 18 to 30. This means that the people we work with are typically university students, recent graduates, or working professionals that are pretty early on in their career. And this gives us like a really cool chance to work with youth who are passionate about a specific career or field and are taking the next steps in their career journey. It is a short-term program, so a typical NGSC would last between 3 weeks to 3 months. And the program can be individual or group-based. It does not need to be reciprocal. And as a committee, we have a lot of experience conducting exchanges, both virtually and in person. And in recent years, we've even tried to make the exchanges a bit of a hybrid of both. Next slide again, Brian. Thank you. As an NGSC participant, these are some of the benefits that embarking on this journey brings. For me, the one that really sticks out is how well-rounded the program is with its different focuses between vocation and service. And it's also quite a bit more affordable compared to a university study abroad experience, which would include the cost of tuition and accommodation. The only major costs associated with our program are the program fees and the travel fare. So because the costs for accommodation are taken care of really humbly by the Rotarian host families or our committee, the exchange is a really cost-friendly option for young adults. Just next slide. Thank you. Over the past couple years, our NGSC committee has hosted, I think, over 10 inbound exchange students, both in person and virtually during COVID. And we've also had 3 outbound students do their NGXT experiences abroad in countries like Italy and Japan. But the countries you see on screen are really just the countries that our committee has really strong contacts with. In reality, each participant's exchange requirements are unique to them, and we do our best to conduct our exchange in the top country of their choosing, which can be any country around the world that has an existing NGSC network or an existing Rotary Club. And then just the last slide, Brian. Awesome. So we as a committee really wanted to take this opportunity to talk about how Rotary clubs in our district can get involved in the program and make it even better in years to come. So one way for you to participate in the NGSC as a host club is as a host club. And in this capacity, your club could help us recruit Rotarian host families to accommodate the participants during their exchange. Your club could also choose to finance an aspect of an exchange participant's experience. So for an inbound exchange student, this could look like financing their transportation costs while they're in our district. And for an outbound student, this could look like partially covering their program fees. We also really encourage Rotary clubs to invite our participants to their volunteer activities or service projects. And many of the Rotary clubs have also been really nice to invite our participants to their club meetings and have them deliver a short presentation about the highlights of their NGSC exchange, which is also really, really cool. The inbound exchange students are also really excited to explore our district during their time here. So your Rotary Club could also organize like a short trip to a local attraction in the city or a place nearby, like Banff. And finally, we're always looking for ways to recruit outbound participants to send to a different country. So your Rotary Club can help us recruit. And if you have any questions about the program or you would like to learn more about how you can get involved as a Rotary Club, you can feel free to reach out to us. That's our committee email. And that's kind of all I had to talk about today. Thank you so much. Are there any
Thank you,
questions
Mambi. That was
right
great.
now?
Any questions for Mambi? Our next presenter is from Ryla. Cole, are you going to be the presenter for Ryla?
Oh yeah, it'll be me today, Brian.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Glad to have you, and I'm happy to be here. Brian talked about the short-term youth services that we do, and I'm happy to not only chair one but also have attended multiple of them. I attended Ryla as a delegate, I attended Ripon as a delegate before that, and then after RILA, I went on a veterans and citizenship. So really blessed to have lots of Rotary experiences, and my home club when I was of that age was the Innisfail Club, and they did a lot of great things for me. So I was very grateful for that. But RILA is the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, and we service high school age kids and students aged 15, 16, and 17, occasionally 14-year-olds, but we try to only make that an exception and stick to our 3 ages there. With these kids, we take this kind of mantra here of lighting a fire in them and guiding them on this discovery and this growth thing. So recently we've noticed, I'm sure a lot of you that run these youth programs, that post-COVID there's been a lot of a shift in what our students need and how they've developed. So a lot of that with us is we always are tailoring and changing our program every year and adapting it to better serve them, and after COVID really shift towards more outward leadership things, where before COVID we focused a lot on personal development because the kids that would come were really good leaders. Brian, I'll go to the next slide, please. So what we kind of do is that through our multiple day conference, so we're running May 8th to 11th this year, is that we try to give tangible tools and do some exercises for our youth to shape them into the leaders and help them reach their potential both as a leader and personally. So we try to do this in a really engaging way, a lot of group work, activities, sometimes individual, mostly in their teams and their groups, and it's a really good time, and every year I think our attendees have a great time, but also they form these everlasting communities and friendships that we still hear about today, and even myself when I attended, I still am in touch with a few people from that year, and that's something that we really strive to do, is that that really big community aspect, and adopt that Rotary kind of mantra of ensuring our delegates understand the value of connection and those around them. More on the technical aspect, registration is open for RILA for the coming May. It will be at Deer Valley Meadows, which is just east of Red Deer. I believe that registration deadline is I think it's in April, but it might be earlier. I would imagine it's earlier. But your respective club contacts should have the email, and if they don't, you guys can reach out to me. I'll put my email here at the end. But all of our information should be sending out. Sadie does a great job of that, and she has been sending out lots of emails to clubs and the contacts that require them for registration. We'll go to the next slide, Brian. And I think just like a prime example of RILA and the impact it's made is here you can read a few quotes from delegates that have attended RILA, and just that idea of memories and everlasting bond and development is a huge aspect. So kind of taking into that, at RILA we celebrate and award in a sense the growth and the development that our attendees do as leaders and personally. I think besides that, the registration's open. Yeah, we're looking forward to May and having another great year. And we're deep in it now, revamping our program and reworking and trying to adopt it to best serve the next group of delegates. So using what we learned last year and the years prior, and constantly adapting. But if you have any questions, you can always email me or just ask away now. But I'll put my email, the RILA email, in the chat here, and then also some RILA, I see in the chat, will be May 8th to 11th this year. So I'll put all my dates in the chat here and stuff I have.
So much, Cole. That was good.
I've been talking.
Any questions for Cole? Our next
Sorry, Brian. I just had a question. I don't know if Cole can answer, but I know last year there was some recommendations put forward by several clubs concerning transportation to and from the camp up at Red Deer Valley. Have you had a chance to look into that?
Yeah, we're exploring that right now, bro. Rick, sorry. We're exploring that right now. So we've talked to the club that we originally had some plans going with there, but we're trying to, and hopefully we'll have a bus option from Calgary. So
Super, thanks.
So our next program is Ripen, and Abe has indicated that he will be the spokesperson for Ripen. It's all yours, Abe, and I'll advance to your slides. Or slide.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian. Hi, everyone. So yeah, my name's Abe. I'm the current activity program or activity coordinator for the Ripen conference there. So what is Ripen? So Ripen is a 4-day youth leadership conference that happens. It used to happen in the fall, but we recently changed it to the spring there. So, and it's for students across the District 5360 there. Any high school student or any student age 13 to 17 can come join the program. It's really wonderful. We are based out of we ran it through the Southern Alberta Bible Camp, so that's just by Vulcan there. So it's just a little bit more centralized for our north and south to get in the middle there. The big thing that I kind of describe Ripen as is it's very much for those that maybe don't see themselves as leaders, but have that leadership potential, right? At Ripen, one of the, I think, grounding philosophies is we believe that everyone has that ability to be a leader, that everyone has a voice that deserves to be heard. And so Ripen is that opportunity for a lot of these students to have their voice heard. And that's a lot of feedback we often get is this is the first time that I felt heard, right? So it is a leadership conference. So what it is we all come together, and the students are split into smaller color groups. And so throughout the weekend, or the 4 days, I guess, we'll do like some large group activities, but then also a lot of it is spent in their smaller groups. And so their groups are with like their students, the junior and senior leaders. And something that's really special with Ripen that is something that I really connect with. I believe like a lot of like the other camps do too, is all of our leaders or many of our junior leaders and even the senior leaders were all past participants. So it really does show that growth and that impact that we have all these volunteers that are wanting to come back to join. And it's also that way of developing that leadership additionally, right? So as you come as a student, you learn about your voice, and then if you're interested, the student can then apply to come back as a leader to continue to shape and to sharpen those skills. There's a lot of growth and development that comes from it. It is truly a wonderful program. It's, I can speak to myself as being one of those ones who I got sent there in grade 10, and I've been there since. As far as preparation goes, we typically what we do is we have a leader training weekend that we do in about a month before. So this year, our leader training weekend is the Saturday, Sunday of March 1st to 2nd. And so that's when all the leaders, so the senior and junior leaders and admin all come together to kind of review everything, go over paperwork things, but also as a chance to connect and form as a team for this year and to prepare for the program. Then when the actual program comes, everyone's kind of on the same page. This year, Ripen is happening the first week of May. So that is May 2nd to 5th. And we are still, I think there's some, still need some things with the JOT form, but we will be getting that prepared soon. But if you're curious about the program, you are welcome to email us at ripen@rotary5360.ca. Something that I do put a big call out for is, ironically enough, this Ripen's been ongoing for almost 20 odd years. and or over 20 years. I think we're at the 25 or maybe 30 year now. And but in the last few years, something we've noticed is, well, we've got a lot of um, recruitment from the youth, and the all the clubs have been really great at sending students. The one thing we've struggled with is Rotary representation. So a lot of our volunteers are just volunteers or people that have been a part of the program and come back. But really one thing that we're missing, and I'm hoping to kind of advocate for here and to put out my pleas to get some more Rotary involvement in the program. So, and that whether that's, you know, driving students, we do have like arrangements for that, but also coming as leaders. I think it's a really awesome opportunity to come as a senior leader. The nice thing about being a senior leader is you don't actually do that much. You're kind of like the eyes and making sure that no one's kind of falling behind, because the junior leader is in charge of like their kind of group and focusing all. So it's I really encourage it because it's a good way for all the Rotary clubs. Like they always come back with a lot of feedback from the youth attending. But I think to be able to witness it and to experience it in your own eyes is something really special. And you know, I could go on and explain how amazing it is, but it's one of those programs where you have to be there to experience it. You know, and there's no other way to describe it. And so I'd love to kind of put that call out for kind of senior leaders or those in your Rotary clubs to come volunteer for the weekend there. We've got plenty of space for that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. But I think that's my spiel. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Abe,
One question from Manol. She's asking the dates. I think I heard May 2nd to the 5th.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the Friday to the Monday.
thank you.
2nd to 5th, Abe, or 6th, sorry.
Oh, 6?
Yeah.
Thanks, Abe. Next up, we have RAAC. And our presenter for RAAC is going to be Sonia, who is the RAAC camp manager.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian. Perfect. So as Brian said, my name is Sonia and I am the 2025 RAAC camp manager. On the call, I also have Katie, and she's going to be the camp coordinator for RAAC. So really the key purpose of RAAC is to empower youth with entrepreneurial skills as well as leadership skills that they need to succeed. So RAAC is a week-long camp that takes place in August that's really targeted towards youth ages 13 to 15. And the focus is instilling skills in business and entrepreneurship into those youth. These campers not only get to learn essential skills like leadership and socialization, they also get to learn things like marketing, advertising, creating cash flow statements, and writing business plans. They also get set up for success in terms of operating their own business using real money, as well as getting to utilize the guidance of actual bankers. So again, it's for those 13 to 15-year-olds, really targeted towards Southern Alberta. And we do support some campers in Southern Saskatchewan, especially near Kindersley. We accept 60 campers per year, all through an application basis, as well as we support 10 additional youth. So those youth have been campers in the past, and our age is 16 to 18, and they act as youth leaders. So not only do they get to come back to the camp, it's a great opportunity for them to give back and mentor. This year, the camp will be August 10th to 16th, which is really exciting. Our applications don't open until the new year, so you can stay tuned for about mid-February for those applications to come out. Camp takes place at Eagle's Nest Ranch, way far south in Alberta. which I know sounds like a barrier to our youth. However, we actually offer on the first day of camp busing. So we pick up all of the campers through all of Alberta and get them to the camp. And then parents will pick them up at the end. And really why we want youth to be attending REAC is it really provides this unique opportunity for young individuals to gain hands-on experience in entrepreneurship, learn those valuable business skills, and participate in some fun recreational activities. Our camp is actually free to all participants, and that's thanks to individuals like you as part of Rotary, and the support we have from Community Futures, as well as other businesses across Alberta. If you want to move to the next slide, Brian, that would be lovely. Perfect. So like I've been highlighting, that hands-on experience is really what we're focused on. So we really prioritize having dynamic activities as well as ample time for self-reflection so that campers can not only enhance their strengths, but also learn about their weaknesses and really empower them to take those weaknesses and become more confident, more adaptable, and learn better how to work with others. Because again, when we work in groups, we find our strengths and our weaknesses often complement one another's. Now, the camp is a week long, and so campers dive into some of those real world skills needed. So again, the business plan, one that's been really important and highlighted in a lot of feedback is the teachings on how to budget and how to design a product. So we really take campers from the brainstorming stage, the ideation, to creating, as well as getting their finances in order. And really what we want is for more individuals and more youth to feel more empowered in their entrepreneurial skills and potentially become entrepreneurs in the future. Now, what REAC has that is incredibly unique is the final day of camp, which we refer to as Business Day. So this is when all the parents, friends, family, often local businesses out of Southern Alberta come and really see what the campers learned. So the campers really put their entrepreneurial skills to the test by not only showcasing their work of a fully functioning business, they also work on their salesmanship by selling the products that they've developed throughout the entire week. It's a really good opportunity for campers while they've been building this confidence in a really safe environment for the last week to really put it to the test in front of new friends, new family, and new people of the community. And it's a great opportunity to celebrate their hard work that's come from all of this learning and the power of innovation. The other unique thing about Business Day is all of our campers are dealing with real money that have come from the bankers that have helped support their businesses. And so campers really learn about how to give change and work with money. And while we all know the credit cards and the debit cards are our best friend, for a lot of these campers, cash is one of the primary things that they're going to be exposed to. And so they really get more hands-on experience with that as well. Now, obviously, when we talk all about business, it sounds like maybe it's not the most fun camp for 13 to 15-year-olds. However, apart from the learning, we also offer several recreational activities, which are offered each day at camp. So not only do the campers get this unreal opportunity to learn about business, they also get to participate in recreational activities, which really help foster teamwork, builds lasting friendships, and unforgettable memories. We've had everything from zip lining to paintballing to rock climbing and yard games. And so it's a wide array of activities, which leaves room for every camper. So if you want more information or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself as a camp manager at reac@rotary5360.ca, or you can also reach out to the coordinator, Katie, who's also in the call. And again, if all this information isn't testament enough, Katie and I are actually both alumni from the camp. So we were first campers over 10 years ago. We've been campers, youth leaders, volunteers, and now we get to help serve the next generation of campers.
Thanks so much, Sonia. Any
Thanks.
questions for Sonia?
Brian,
I am going to hand it.
sorry, Brian, just a comment to add to actually what Abe did a call out for. We can use more Rotary and Community Futures leaders as adult leaders to support our youth leaders at the camp. So get in touch with us. We'd just love to have more Rotarians and more Community Future people there that can bring their skills, knowledge, and experience to the camp. So thank you. And thanks,
Sounds
Sonia,
great.
for doing an excellent presentation.
Thanks so much. Our next is the first of we have 2 adventure programs. We have one that's been going, this will be the 3rd year coming up, and one that is just brand new this year. So first off, I'd like to introduce John Crosser from Adventures in Career and Financial Wellness.
Very
It's all
good.
yours, John.
Very good. Hey guys, hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time and your love for youth. So we're passionate with with launching our teens into adulthood. And one of the most important parts, I think, from from a parenting perspective and also from a student perspective, is to help people make better financial decisions, career and financial decisions as well. So we have been running the camp now for a couple of years. As Brian had mentioned, our program is theme based for 4 days. It's looking to recruit students from ages 14 to 18 or 14 to 17. And it's a 4-day camp. And the camp actually is for teens. But one of the things that we do is in our theme day, like day 1 is all on careers. We look at skill sets and developing skill sets and best practices and values and the whole career progression and looking for jobs and then also trying to work on their interview skills and their resume writing and those things. And then what we do is, we have a variety of people that'll come in and share best practices, best practices, best financial best practices, and as well as professional best practices. And the final days, and again, there's a lot of group work that goes on with this. The final event for the day is to bring in a HR manager that actually interviews select group of students, and a nerve-wracking experience for those guys, but they are so grateful after they've done it, and which is great. Day 2 is all on building your financial future, and so we bring in guest speakers to talk about financial best practices. They learned everything from stocks, bonds, mutual funds, EFTs, all those things in a engaging environment. And one of the great things that we do is we end up bringing in an investment advisor that comes in and does a presentation. And again, the students get to ask questions about all the things that we've covered during the day. And they just reaffirms their knowledge. And then the day 3 is all about I won't say learning to drive, because we're actually not out driving, but it's all about buying a car. So one of the, we learn everything from buying a car to, to financing, to negotiating prices, to all kinds of stuff. And then the activity for the day, of course, is going to the driving range, but also it's going to a car dealership. And we actually talk to a car salesman about a variety of things. And I've already met with their car dealer, so he's not selling any cars. He is providing inside knowledge about what you should be looking for when you buy a car. And then the day 4 is all about getting keys to the castle. Whether you're going to start off renting or you're going to go buy a house at one point in time, we bring in a mortgage broker. We bring in a mortgage an investment specialist that again, just talks about how to save for down payment for a house and those type things as well. So it's a very captivating days. There's lots of stuff that goes on. There's a lot of real life stuff that happens. And again, money talks, because what happens is that the whole program is gamified. So every day we check the calendar, we check the list to see who's first and who's second and who's third, and all the way down to fifth place and so forth. And then there's cash prizes awarded to those people that have rose above in three areas. One of them with their knowledge increase, and also with their behaviors in terms of financial and career behaviors, and then also developing skills. So those are the few things. We know that our top accomplishments, we know that there's 121% increase in their in determining how to figure out your rate of return on your investments. There's a 92% in knowing and understanding how to actually grow investments. There's a 77% increase in understanding investment strategies and how to achieve financial goals and so forth. So again, we quantify everything, and each year we adjust the program to meet the needs of our incoming students. So again, we're looking for lots of students. The dates for the program is July 3rd through July 6th. It's a Thursday through Sunday, so it's a full-on day weekend. It's at Victory Village, which is here in Calgary. It's over by COP, just down from there, and love it. We're always looking for help. Also on a volunteers basis, looking for people that want to get involved and so forth. So if you're interested, of course, certainly send an email to ACFW, and I'll put it in the chat there at Rotary 5360. That's what I have.
Thank you very much, John. Any questions for John about adventures in career and financial wellness? Hearing none, I would like to, we have a brand new adventure program, and I would like to welcome Rob from Canmore.
Thank you very much, Brian. Maybe if I could just stop for a second. I believe there was a question for John in the chat there.
Yep. The cost for the camp is it's free, but the Rotary clubs all pay it at and it's $1,000.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
So, Brian, thank you very much, and everybody else for taking time to listen to a new adventures, that opportunity that'll be made available here through the Rotary Club of Canmore. We are kind of in the process of developing it and get communication out in January more so. So you are the first people outside of the Canmore Club to hear about it. So what we are going to do is we are offering an Adventures in Mountains program. It'll be, as I said on the slide here, a 5-day camp. It'll start a Sunday afternoon night, and it'll advance through till Thursday. So the 21st to the 25th of September of 2026. Boy, I'm dating myself there. Of 2026. And we are looking for youth ages 15 to 18 years of age. We are going to be creating an exploration of expert guided activities throughout this mountainous region, around Canmore, around Banff, and a few surrounding areas there. We're going to be learning about, having the students learn about the history of the mountains and the history of various situations and components here in the mountainous region. And we're going to also be taking a look at current issues in the Canadian Rockies. We're going to be looking at things like recreation in the mountains in all its aspects. We're going to be looking at Indigenous culture and its unique attributes in the Bow Valley. We're going to be looking at climate challenges and sustainability in our mountains. We'll also be looking at ensuring that there are fun social interactions and fellowship, obviously in a safe manner, throughout each of these activities. Each of these activities will be led by experts or qualified individuals to lead the various activities. So you're saying, what are those activities? Good question. Right now, we have too many. We're trying to narrow down what the activities will be over this 4-day period, but I'll give you a little bit of a tease as to what we're considering. Obviously, some hikes, some time for hikes. We'll also be looking at some glacier walks, glacier visit. We are looking to spend some time out understanding, this is outside, wildlife management. We'll also be looking to understand a little bit about Fire Smart and the implications dealing with a Fire Smart. We'll also be looking to engage in outdoor activities with some of our local community-based organizations with regards to activities in and around Canmore and Banff, I'll say, kind of in this area, and have the students and the participants learn about the challenges, whether they be of climate sustainability, as I mentioned, how do you safely recreate in the mountain area, and also by trying some of these activities and making sure that we are taking the time to learn about the history of the mountains and what the future can be, whether it be here in the Rockies or anywhere else in Canada in mountainous regions. All of our participants will be staying at the Canmore Clubhouse Hostel of the Alpine Club of Canada. For those who are familiar with Canmore, it's just on the outskirts of the town of Canmore. It is a picturesque hostel operated by the Alpine Club of Canada, of which there are affiliates all across Canada. So we look to have this venue be our home for the close to 5 days that the participants will be here. All of them will stay there. All transportation will be provided to the various activity sites from this. And I'm going to say, and I'm biased, so please excuse me for this, but when they are sitting in the hostel looking out, their view is of the mountains. You cannot turn anywhere and not see the mountains. So we're pretty excited about this. So we formed a partnership with Alpine Club of Canada. We had a meeting here just last week. We've been meeting for the last 3 months, and quite openly, we have a plethora of activities, all great ideas, but we're having to narrow it down and be a little bit reasonable about what can be offered without exhausting each of our participants. We are looking for participants that would be able to be outdoors, do some hiking, walk, when I say distances, for 2 or 3 kilometers, spend some time outside, regardless of the weather, and enjoy the opportunities afforded to them that's going to be here. They will be treated to outstanding Canmore hospitality and have the opportunity to make friends from we envision all across this great country. I mentioned at the beginning, we are crafting our communications, and those will be sent out here in early to mid-January. We're kind of working through the forms right now of what that would look like, but we've got all of our club on side. It's just nailing down the activities, what we're going to do, and getting that information out. There will be a cost. The cost will be determined by the activities we're doing, but we've kind of played with the concept of $850 for participants here, and around that area, maybe a few dollars above that, but we're trying to nail that down. It's not something I would invite you to take away and say, oh, I'm going to hold you to that, because it could be less than that. It could be a little bit more, but it kind of gives one an idea. There will be a cost for this. And outside of that, we have significant local expertise, provincial experts, national experts, international experts, who we are engaging to participate, to facilitate and present to our participants information and help engage them. Our intent is that these participants would leave here, go back to their respective areas, understand better the mountains, and whether they be in Alberta or other parts of the country, have a greater appreciation of the opportunities and the challenges and the issues that we face in this respective area. So with that, Brian, if I could steal your thunder here, any questions?
Rick's got a question.
Yeah, Rob, do you have a target number in mind that you would like to kick your first year
Yes.
off? And was it for 2025?
Thank you. I got excited about telling everything that I left a few of the important details out. Yes, it'd be September 21st to the 25th of 2025. So this next fall. We are looking at 15 to 20 participants. We were looking to start, in my mind, small, and to make sure that we are able to walk before we run. So 15 to 20 participants. And again, I emphasize that the clubs will pick their representatives. The clubs will pick the students that they would like to participate in this. The clubs will bear the cost of the whatever the fee is, and send the students here for this. So the clubs would be looking at, are these individuals able to participate, and go on out into the mountainous areas and be involved in the activities. I will also send this out too. We are looking to engage in a group that's called Rocky Mountain Adaptive, and we are looking to expose our participants to participation in recreation activities in the mountains that are for all people of all abilities. This first year, we will be targeting people who can participate in these, but we will expose them so that they will be able to take back to their own respective areas and clubs how we can facilitate participation for everyone, whether it's hiking or strolling down or whatever that may be. So
Thanks, Rob. John, did you have a question?
Nope, just
Okay.
yeah, good.
So our last program is the Seeds Connection. This is a program, it's a diversity, anti-racism leadership program for high school students. The focus is to provide students with the knowledge to understand and recognize the issues and deal with them in an effective manner in their schools and communities. The program is designed for 6 to 10 students from a number of different schools, with a teacher from the school being part of the program. With that design, the schools are determined in advance and the teachers select the students. The program has been supported by Kiwanis and industry partners. And last year we were approached to help fund the program. So I think there was 6 or 7 Rotary clubs got together to sponsor 10 students, and it was our first exposure to the program. The camp lasts for 4 days. It's at a camp near Bride Creek in April. And the program includes online work before the camp, as well as a Be the Change project after the camp. The cost is $1,500 per student, which also covers the cost for substitute teachers for the teachers that attend the camp for the 4 days. Any questions that anyone has regarding the Seeds Connection program? If not, I mean, you can contact me afterwards and I can put you in touch with our contact who runs the program, if you've got specific questions about that. Any other questions for any of our presenters?
Brian, Minot's got a question for regarding the schools.
Okay.
Where are the schools chosen from? Just Calgary or our district or?
District, really. So we had Eden Valley School was one of the schools last year, and it was supported by High River and Okotoks.
Oh.
And then in Calgary was Jack James.
Mhm.
But I know that there's been schools from north from District 5370, and there were
Awesome.
also a school from Ontario.
Ooh,
at last year's program. So it's really what schools hear about the program and are interested in participating.
and who does the majority of the communications about this program?
The guy that's been organizing it, who is a former, is still a Kiwanis member.
Okay,
And he was involved with developing the program. The program has been around for, I think, 25 years, and he worked for the school board when he developed the program. So he's
awesome,
been kind of the driver behind it.
cool.
Brian,
Thank-
if I may,
Yeah.
speaking on that Seeds Connection program, I actually got to be one of the teacher supervisors
Oh,
in their
Okay.
2019 year. So prior to the Rotary connection, I was there. The club was the week or the activity, the event happened a week before COVID shut everything down.
Okay.
It was like just timing. But speaking on from personal experience of getting to go there just as a teacher supervisor, it's really, really well done. I was really impressed with it. I thought they had a lot of great. They brought in some speakers. A lot of the activities were very intentional, and it's the nice thing that I saw about it is the fact that these are students that are going to this are actually getting credit for it. So it actually is school credit, which is really nice for, if a student struggles in something else, they can take this course and they can do it, and it goes towards their high school credits. So I think that's a huge benefit of this program, and they did a really good job. I know it was at the end they kind of were all in different groups, and this could have changed since, but if it's still the same fundamental program, they had everyone had a different perspective that they had to research, and there's a certain environmental problem, and then that group had to research there to support theirs, and then the end there was a large town hall where everyone got to speak. So there's people who represented the I think my year it was drilling in the Arctic. So it was like an energy piece. And so they had some people who were representing the town and the municipality there of why they supported or not, like how it benefited them. They had some people who would represent and took the side of Indigenous elders. And then there was another side doing environment, another one representing like the business, like the pipeline organization. And they all had um, a big town hall. So it was really cool to see them all have these different discussions and everything they got out of it. So from my experience, when I went, it was an awesome program that I would definitely um, uh, suggest.
Thank you so much for that endorsement, Dave. Abe, that's great. You bet. And actually, Rick and I were there for that one day, and it was the same exercise that they did in this last year past. So that's great. Anything else for today from anyone? Seeing no response, I would like to thank you all for attending this youth and vocational service information session, and for your interest in supporting our future leaders. I think it's a very, very important thing for us to do. I'd like to hope that you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for attending today. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, Brian and presenters. This was very informative. I really enjoyed it. I've got all these dates on my calendar now.
Sounds good, Minnow.
See if I can visit as many of them as possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
great to see them in action. And maybe even participate. I don't know. I'll have to see how that all fits in. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks,
You've heard
guys.
3 call outs for adult leaders, Monroe. So
Yeah, I know. It's like, ooh, which one can I fit in? I think I'd like Ripen.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You get bracelet too, if that helps.
Oh, wow.
Shanna, you
I
get
mean,
stuff.
But I'm biased.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you just you send an email and let me know what bribery is needed, and we'll
Okay.
get it done.
So Abe, where is your email? Is your email in the chat somewhere?
It is not, but I can put it in.
Where do I find you? Are you like?
Ripen at district5360.ca.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So that one is that's Kirsten is our representative. Mine specifically is Ripen Activities at Rotary 63.
Ripen activities. I'll make a note of that. If I lose it, I know I can find you somewhere.
Kelly, you have a question.
Just wondering, is this information then from High River? Joanne Van Donzel is sort of our main contact. Will she be getting a lot of this information? Because what I would like to do then is to make, or I'd love Manvi to come with me, but to make a presentation to our high schools and our students here in High Rivers, because there isn't a lot of general knowledge about these youth programs in our community. So just wondering sort of how to get that information.
There's some summaries that I've put together, and I'm going to send it to all of the youth service chairs with the clubs.
Good.
And also I'll post it on the district website.
Okay, that would be
and
wonderful.
with some
Thanks,
instructions on how to get to it. You
Perfect.
bet. Any other questions?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
great evening.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Okay, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone.